look at Colorado, Washington, Oregon, and say, wait a minute, we're losing out. Willie Nelson is more than just a country music legend. He's the voice behind songs that touched many people and the face of a life full of ups and downs. At 92, his story is both inspiring and heartbreaking. From his early days writing songs in Texas honky-tonk bars to becoming a worldwide icon, Willie's journey has been filled with victories, but also sad times that few people really know about. He's faced losing people he loved, health problems, IRS money troubles, and battles behind the spotlight that changed his life forever. Join us as we take a closer look at Willie's life, his pain, and his world today. A hard childhood in Texas. Willie Nelson's life began in Abbott, Texas in 1933. Times were already tough across America during the Great Depression, but Willie's family had it even harder. His parents, Ira and Merle, were still teenagers when he was born. They already had one child, Bobby, before Willie came along. Money was very hard to find, and staying alive meant taking any work that came along. Willie's father often traveled through Texas looking for jobs as a mechanic. If no work was found, he picked cotton to put food on the table. The long days and empty pay left Willie's mother feeling alone, and soon the marriage fell apart. Willie later told the New Yorker that his parents split when he was 6 months old or something like that. His mother left him and Bobby completely. His father remarried and also moved on. The two children were left behind. Their grandparents, William and Mama Nelson, took them in and raised them in Abbott. Willie admitted the pain never fully left him. He told Interview magazine, "Neither one of them had a way to take care of us. Really, they did us a favor." Still, he compared their absence to a wound that felt worse than death. In his autobiography, Willie wrote, "Our separation from Mother and Daddy seemed worse than a death because they were still out there in the world, but they weren't with me and Bobby like they were supposed to be." That sense of heartbreak shaped him from the start. His grandfather worked as a blacksmith, and Willie often helped with the work. But when Willie was just 6, his grandfather died of pneumonia. The family lost that source of money, and the loss weighed heavily on young Willie. Even as a child, he began writing songs about pain and heartache, the very themes that later became important in his music. With little money, Willie joined his neighbors in the cotton fields. After school, he picked cotton under the Texas sun, where the heat often went over 100 degrees. He later wrote, "Here I was picking cotton in the heat and thinking there's a better way to make $1 and a living." The thought of escaping that hard life pushed him closer to music. His grandfather had given him a guitar before he passed away, and Willie began to dream of turning music into more than just a hobby. Picking cotton made him tough, but the guitar gave him hope. That hope kept him moving forward, finding music in struggles. Life at home wasn't easy, but Willie's grandparents gave him something priceless: encouragement. They both had musical backgrounds and encouraged Willie and Bobby to sing in church. Mama Nelson, as Willie lovingly called his grandmother, made sure faith and music stayed central in their lives. Willie sang gospel songs, and Bobby played piano. Soon he was using that guitar to find his own voice. By the age of 7, Willie had already written his first song. When he was 9, he joined a local group called Bohemian Polka, playing his guitar for dances. He was just a kid, but the rhythm and the crowds made him believe that maybe music really was his way out. At school, Willie wasn't just a musician. He played football, basketball, and baseball. He also joined the Future Farmers of America and raised pigs. But even though he was active in many areas, his heart was always with the guitar. During his teenage years, he started playing at taverns, honky-tonk bars, and dance halls. He even got paid for it, which proved he could earn money doing what he loved. By the age of 13, he was already performing regularly, and that gave him the push to keep going. The loss of his grandmother as a teenager brought him more heartbreak. Mama Nelson had been the anchor in his life after his parents and grandfather left, and losing her hurt deeply. But by then, Willie was already on the road as a working musician. He had pain in his heart, but he also had the music to carry it. His struggles gave him a way of writing that listeners connected to for many years. Songs like "I Still Can't Believe You're Gone" and "Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain" came years later. But the feelings behind them started right here. The heartbreak of his childhood never left him. It just changed into words and melodies that touched the world. This was only the beginning, and the path ahead would test him even more. A young man searching. After finishing high school, Willie took on many jobs to get by. He trimmed trees for the electric company, worked in a pawn shop, and even worked as a bouncer at nightclubs. At one point, he became a phone operator in Abbott. But no matter what work he tried, music kept pulling him back. He joined the Texans, a band led by his sister Bobby's husband, Bud Fletcher. They played at honky-tonk bars and even had a Sunday morning radio show in Hillsboro, Texas. Performing regularly gave Willie more confidence, but life still wasn't smooth. In 1950, after high school, he joined the U.S. Air Force. His plan was to serve his country, but a back problem forced him out just 8 months later. The discharge left him disappointed, but he didn't give up. Soon after, in 1952, Willie married his first wife, Martha Matthews. By 1954, he had started studying agriculture at Baylor University. He even joined the Tau Kappa Epsilon fraternity. But money was tight and balancing music with school proved difficult. After 2 years, Willie dropped out and decided to put everything into music. During this time, he continued working odd jobs. He made saddles, sold auto parts, and trimmed trees again. He also played with Johnny Bush's band. No matter how many jobs he tried, nothing felt right except music. His chance came when he auditioned for a DJ job at KBOP in Pleasanton, Texas. The owner gave him the spot, even though he had no radio experience. It was a lucky break. Willie recorded his first songs on used tapes at the station, "The Storm Has Just Begun," and "When I've Sung My Last Hillbilly Song." He sent them to Starday Records. But they were rejected. That didn't stop him. He kept moving forward, hosting shows at other stations in Denton and Fort Worth while also playing clubs and teaching Sunday school. Each setback seemed to make him more determined. He was still a long way from fame, but his persistence was clear. Yet his journey would soon take a turn into even harder times, a road full of challenges. Willie's life on the road was filled with both hope and struggle. He believed music could lift him out of poverty, but it wasn't a smooth path. After trying his luck in Texas, he dreamed of bigger opportunities. He decided to head west. At first, he aimed for San Diego, but no jobs came his way. So he hitchhiked north to Portland, Oregon, where his mother was living. It was a risky move. Along the way, he faced cold nights and rejection. At one point, no one would pick him up, and he ended up sleeping in a ditch. The next day, he hopped on a freight train heading toward Eugene. A kind truck driver eventually gave him a ride to the bus station and even loaned him $10 so he could buy a ticket to Portland. That moment showed Willie something he never forgot. The kindness of strangers could help you survive when everything else failed. In Portland, Willie kept chasing his dream. Still writing songs and still holding on to the guitar his grandfather once gave him. The road was rough, but every hardship added another layer to the man and the music. His background in poverty, his broken family, the long days in the cotton fields, and the heartbreak of losing the people he loved. Each chapter gave him more reason to sing. And while fame and fortune still seemed far away, the young man from Abbott, Texas, had already proven one thing. No matter how many times life pushed him down, Willie Nelson always found a way to rise again. His story was still being written, and the world was only beginning to hear his voice. The rise of a songwriter. Willie Nelson's journey into music started young. He wrote his first song at just 7 and joined a band when he was 10. By high school, he was already performing with the Bohemian Polka as their lead singer and guitar player. After graduation in 1950, he joined the U.S. Air Force, but back problems forced him to leave. Returning home, he studied agriculture at Baylor University, but dropped out after 2 years. His heart wasn't in school. It was in music. During this time, Willie worked as a radio DJ across Texas and later in the Pacific Northwest, but his main focus was writing songs. Some of those songs became country classics. Funny How Time Slips Away, Hello Walls, Pretty Paper, and Crazy were all born in these early years. By 1960, Willie moved to Nashville. He signed a publishing contract with Pamper Music, which let him join Ray Price's band as a bass player. 2 years later, he recorded his first album, And Then I Wrote. Its success gave him a real foothold in the industry. In 1964, he signed with RCA Victor, and the next year, he became a member of the Grand Ole Opry. It looked like everything was falling into place. But Willie wasn't fully happy. Outlaw country and stardom. By the late 1960s, Willie had mid-chart hits, but felt stuck in the Nashville system. The rules, the corporate control, and the limits on creativity pushed him to the edge. In 1972, he left Nashville and moved to Austin, Texas. Austin was different. The city's energy allowed him to experiment. He played often at the Armadillo World Headquarters, a venue where country, rock, and folk music mixed together. In 1973, he signed with Atlantic Records and fully embraced outlaw country. Albums like Shotgun Willie and Phases and Stages showed a bolder side of him. In 1975, he moved to Columbia Records and released Red-Headed Stranger, which critics loved. That same year, he teamed up with Waylon Jennings, Jesse Coulter, and Tom Paul Glaser to record Wanted. The Outlaws. It became one of the first country albums to go platinum. The mid-1980s brought even more success. Willie released Honeysuckle Rose and hit singles like On the Road Again, To All the Girls I've Loved Before, and Poncho and Lefty. Each track captured a different side of his life and personality. He also branched out into acting, starting with The Electric Horseman in 1979. Another milestone was joining The Highwaymen with Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, and Chris Christopherson. The supergroup became legendary in its own right. In 1985, Willie co-founded Farm Aid, a benefit concert for struggling American farmers. It became an annual event and showed Willie's commitment to causes close to his heart. Fame and respect followed him everywhere. But his personal life was about to be tested by forces far bigger than music. Trouble with the law. Willie was never shy about living life on his own terms. His open love for marijuana often landed him in trouble. His first arrest came in 1974 in Dallas, Texas. In 1977, another arrest happened when he traveled to the Bahamas with Hank Cochran.